Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Algorithm Minds. My name is Asan Khuram, and this channel I teach programming skills in Python, MATLAB and R programming. I also teach theoretical concepts as well as practical programming skills in data analysis, statistical analysis and data science. For those of you who want to actually learn Python from beginning or who want to excel their career in data science, I suggest you to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell icon button. Soon I will be posting videos related to statistical analysis in Python, which is again one of the fundamental aspects for any data science professional. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to discuss about the fundamentals of Python programming, and specific topic we are going to discuss is using enumerate in Python. So what is actually enumerate and why we use it in Python programming? So the enumerate function is a powerful tool that simplifies loops when you need both the index and the value from an iterable. It returns an iterator with pair of index and element from the original iterable. You can also specify a starting value for the index which defaults to 0. And what are actually the benefits of using enumerate? So first of all, by using enumerate, you will avoid off by one error. Collection-based iteration with enumerate helps prevent common off by one error that occurs in other programming languages. It will also make your code concise and readable. The code becomes more concise and readable by combining the index and value retrieval in a single line. So I will go step by step with the code, and I have actually written quite few examples which actually help you understand the concept of enumerate, but how actually you can use enumerate in your Python programming. So first of all, in order to actually use enumerate, we are going to need an iterable, and a list is also iterable. So here I have actually declared a list of fruits. In our case, we have like apple, banana, orange and grape. I have declared a variable items, and then I have assigned its value to a value list that contains 4 elements of fruit names. After declaring a list in items, I'm going to first iterate in that list by using simple for loop. So in order to do that, what we have actually do is actually to iterate over each item and print that value, but we are also going to write its index. Now you know by definition for loop will only iterate element. I mean, it will give you first element, it will give you second element. It will not give you the index of that specific element. For in order to get an index, we have to actually write an additional line of code or Python statement here. So here I have defined index is equal to 0 just to initialize the index counter, because in Python the index starts from 0. So after I have initialized an index counter, index is equal to 0, I'm going to iterate in the list by using for loop for item in items. Here items is actually a predefined list here as we declared earlier. Now for each iteration, I'm going to print something. For this purpose, I have used print function, and within the print function, I'm using fstring method. So fstring method is actually help us embed values into the string dynamically. So right here you can see that we have actually in order to how you can actually define an f string, it's quite simple. You will write f, then you put quotation mark, then you write all your string that you actually want to display in the print statement. Then you will also write the variable that you want to embed in the string. In our case, we have index, which is the counter which starts from 0, and also the item itself that is actually iterating from the list we have defined earlier in items. So we have like index, which is a string. Then in order to define a variable within the string, we are going to use curly braces. You see, as we have used curly braces, and then this colon is again a string type data. and then we have defined another variable item, which is actually the single element we have taken during iteration. And then we close the quotation mark. So this is how you actually define f-string method. Use f-string method to define variables within a string. And once it has done that, so we will actually want to actually add one value to our index. So when it runs again, it will give us the index of next element. For example, if it starts with 0, it will print the value index is equal to 0. Then it will add 1 to the index, current value of index. Here index plus is equal to 1 is actually index is equal to index plus 1. So in each iteration, it updates the value of index by 1, adding it 1 at every iteration. So for the next iteration, when it goes towards banana, it will have an index of 1, and it's then it goes towards orange, then it will have an index of 2, and when it goes towards grape, it after like adding 1 using this Python statement, it will have an index of 3. So let me just run this code for you. So now you can see that we have like index here, the string, then we have variable declare in f-string method that and index is equal to 0. Then we have actually the item itself declared in the f-string method as apple, banana, orange, and grape. So this is how you actually iterate on a list, and also count its index. But what if I actually told you that I can actually count the index without actually having to define this additional line of statement, code of statement here, Python statement here. So that is what actually enumerate help us to achieve. So you will see here, so how I will describe the basic notation, how you can actually use enumerate. So for this purpose, we are going to use the same for loop, but now instead of actually defining a single element for item, we are going to define two variables. The first one will be the index, and the second one will be the item. So the index will correspond to the actual index of that element, and the item will correspond to that actual element in that list. So we have like for index comma item in enumerate, and when within those curly braces, I am going to pass the list we have declared earlier, items. So this is how actually you define or use enumerate using for loop. Let me repeat that again. For index comma item in enumerate, the list we have defined earlier, we will pass it as an input argument item. Then you can actually write the same print function and then use the f-string method to print the value of index and item. Let me run this block of code for you. So now you can see without actually counting index with each iteration and adding an additional line of code, we can actually achieve the same purpose with using enumerate function and applying it through for loop. So that's the benefit of actually using enumerate. Now one additional concept I actually want to discuss here is that you remember and you recall that I actually told you that we can actually adjust the starting index to any value we want. By default, Python index starts with 0, but we can also define our own index. For example, let's say instead of like index, we actually want to conceptualize that actually the index is actually the quantity value, or let's say it's the like number of elements in the list. So for example, like for apple we have like first quantity, and for banana we have like this is the second value, for orange this is the third value, and for grape this is the fourth value. We can actually do that by using enumerate function. The whole definition of Python statement will remain exactly the same, but in this case, if you recall, in the previous function we have actually defined single input argument to enumerate, which is actually the list of items, or the list that we have declared earlier, items. But now we are passing an additional input argument, which is start is equal to 1. This actually defines where you actually want to start the index. If you define by 1, then it starts with 1, and if you define by 2, then it starts by 2. Let me just run this code for you first, then we change the value of start from 1 to 2. So now you see that the index actually starts now from 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's the benefit of using enumerate. And this was a quite brief and concise tutorial. And thank you for joining me for this tutorial. And I will suggest you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell icon button, because soon I will be posting videos related to statistical analysis in Python, and which is again very crucial element or aspect for any data science professional. Thank you for joining me, and we'll soon catch you in the next video.